Welcome everyone to Universe Media. We just got done watching episode 2 of Loki, and first off we're going to give our thoughts, and then we'll talk more about the spoilers in this story and where everything's going. So Emily, what did you think about this episode?
It's not that funny.
Yeah, it wasn't as funny as the last one. The last one was really funny. This one was more serious and got straight to the point, I think. It just...
And you can't tell when Loki's lying.
The only part that was super funny about this one, and spoilers, I'm sorry guys, but this whole thing...
You shouldn't be clicking on it if it's a review.
Don't click on a review if you don't want spoilers. So, funniest part where Mobius was telling Loki is like, how do I know that you're not lying? You lied 50 times, whatever. Then he goes, well, I'll never do it again. I think that was pretty funny.
Or the one where the lady tells Loki shh, and he turns around and tells her shh.
It still had its funny moments here and there, but it wasn't...
But I still like it.
It still wasn't as heavy as the first episode.
It's Loki trying to be a hero, but nobody's trusting him.
So, first part of the episode, the TVA comes in to where Loki, the other Loki, might be.
Which turns out...
Look at there. Steering wheel just moved. But, this Loki just destroys the TVA agents that was there.
And when they touch someone, they put this spell on them.
Yeah, it's like they can take control of their body without them actually being in their body. It's pretty cool power.
But then when the power transferred to someone else, then they fall and pass out.
So then we get Loki's first mission after he studied all these rules and regulations about the TVA. Then he goes in there and he just absolutely wastes their time. Comes up with this crazy Asgard theory about what this Loki's doing, just to waste some time and allow this Loki to either get away or just come up with a different plan elsewhere. So, and then a lot of the TVA was like, okay, this Mobius guy doesn't know what he's talking about or thinking. He should have never got this Loki to help them, and it really looked like it was bad for him, that Loki was not going to be able to overcome this, but that was part of his plan. And so they come up with all these theories, and after Loki was searching all of these files, that part that Emily was talking about, that lady was like, shh, and he turns around and shh, that was pretty funny. And so after reading about the destruction of Asgard, which happens in Ragnarok.
If you didn't watch that before you watch this Loki.
If you haven't watched Ragnarok, then you would be so confused then.
Yeah.
So then Loki realizes that if it was him, if he was in this other Loki's position, that he would simply go to these events that would happen regardless. Asgard is going to get destroyed regardless in the timeline, so he would just keep going back and back and back, and it would not branch out of the sacred timeline, as they call it. And so then they pinpoint it a little bit more and narrow it down. They have to go through all these apocalypses that possibly this Loki would be at, and then they gotta find the perfect one to go on a mission to. Then they find 2050, the tsunami that destroys Alabama. So they said this one would be the one that Loki would go to because it has a supermarket that has just pretty much anything and everything a Loki would want. So that's what they did, and turns out they were right. This Loki was there, but surprisingly, this Loki was super powerful, more powerful than our Loki, I guess you could call it, our hero Loki.
The actual Loki, you know, the main character, he got beat up.
Yeah, he pretty much got wrecked, and so it was like the big reveal. What does this Loki look like? Is it going to be a twin of Loki? And then
turns out,
so they basically set it up to like, oh, they brought them here to blow them up because they keep showing these bombs or whatever that look like a bomb. But turns out that was not the case.
What was it mean?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around what exactly they are, but I think my theory is those things go into different timelines and change the timeline, branching it off to another path, and that's why the sacred timeline is now collapsing.
And it turns out that Loki's a woman.
Yes, this Loki is a female. And that's like, for whatever reason, that was like a big reveal. Like,
but it could be his sister, because remember on Ragnarok?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, a lot of times in comics you have like the female Spider-Man, the female Superman, you know. So many different variations, and so this timeline, the timeline theories and all this kind of is like this female Loki jumped around to so many different timelines to the sacred timeline, and now is just wreaking havoc. And towards the end, she brings this time portal. Man, I can't talk today in this episode.
And left Loki, but then Loki went with her.
Yeah, and leaving the TVA agents behind. They don't know what happened. They don't know if this main Loki is
bad.
The cause is siding with the other Loki. Is Loki siding with them or not? Because he made a bargain to overrule the timekeepers, but Loki knows that's what Loki wants. So I don't know if he was using that against her, and she knew that, and that's why she denied it.
You can never know.
There are so many different theories and things that you can really come up with this.
That's the hardest
series
part about watching Loki, is because he's so like he doesn't. You can't trust him, so you don't know what his game is.
It kind of gives me the vibe that WandaVision gave us. Like, is this real? Is it not? And then we kind of got like a normal series with Falcon and the Winter Soldiers. Like, oh, everything we know is real. But everyone I've seen trying to make theories about this, they kept saying Mephisto is coming. Mephisto is coming, and that's what they gave an allusion to in the first episode. And then this one is Loki turns out to be female Loki and not Mephisto like everyone thought. Is Mephisto still coming in this series, or is it kind of like still build up? Is this Loki going to be Mephisto somehow? I don't know. But overall, I think this episode really ramped up. Went 0 to 100 real fast, and we got 4 more episodes to go. So next Wednesday we'll be right back here to unpack episode 3 and kind of give a discussion. We want to know what you thought about Loki episode 2, and maybe some of your theories and things that we might have forgot. We didn't take notes like we probably should have. But you gotta subscribe for more, and let us know how we did in the comments below. And we'll see you next time. Are they still here? You're in the wrong timeline. Go somewhere else.